Hello, you guys. Welcome to my channel. I'm Miley, and today's pick and image reading will be on what the fall season has in store for you. So, at the time this video is uploaded, it will be some days after the fall equinox, which will happen on the 22nd of September 2024, which is the astronomical signifier for the start of fall. And I believe December 20th will be the final day of fall before the winter solstice. So between September 22nd and December 20th, 2024, I will channel what the fall season has in store for you within that time frame. You already know. Before we jump right into the readings, I would like for you to know that you are free to listen to the messages that I channeled today through the cards, and I hope that regardless of what you choose, you will make your decision based on your own inner guidance. On the screen here, you do have the opportunity to select which of the three piles with the scarf calls to you the most, and you may select one or more piles if you choose to do so. Because this is a general reading, parts of the channeled messages may or may not resonate. So if it does not resonate, release and do not force it to resonate for whatever your life situation may be at the time you're seeing this video. Now that I've said all of that, if you need more time to determine which pile is meant for you, I will give you more time to meditate on that. If you don't need any more time selecting the pile that has your name and your energy written all over it, then your timestamp for your reading can be found in the description box below, and I'll see you at your selected pile. Hope you enjoy. Hello, my pile number ones, and welcome to your fall season reading. To start off your reading, you have the Three of Wands reversed, the Ace of Swords upright, and the Two of Pentacles reversed. So jumping right in, the first thing that is very apparent is that you are getting into contact with someone who can help you get your life in order, because in the Two of Pentacles reversed, I'm seeing someone being very disorganized and wants to get their life back together. It seems like there were some choices that were made that maybe weren't the best and you aren't the most proud of, and now you're trying to figure out how to fix things to correct them. For some, I am seeing that this is in relation to money, and I am seeing that a financial advisor for you may be what you need to be looking for someone to come in and help you with learning how to handle your money a lot better. In the Three of Wands reversed, I am getting that for some of you. You are afraid to reach out for some help. I'm feeling this sense of shame or embarrassment, like I'm ashamed of myself for getting myself in this predicament, and now I have to sit in this room with other people who are probably going through the same difficulty as me. I'm seeing like a AA meeting or when a child gets in trouble in school and they have to go to detention, or I am seeing someone taking a course on how to become financially literate, but the person attending the course may feel as though they are too old and feel as though they should be embarrassed by how old they are and can't handle their finances properly this late in life. They are essentially embarrassed by their lack of knowledge or self control that has put them in the situation they are in now. But I'm also feeling this warm and welcoming environment that this person walks into, regardless of their reasoning for being in this room. Um, it doesn't necessarily have to be about finances. This room that you're walking into could be any room that is there to help you get yourself back on track with your life. Although for some of you it could be about finances. This is a general reading, so take how this could apply to you in your life. But in the room that you walk into, it feels very non-judgmental, and I'm seeing others in the room sharing their stories and building bonds with other people in the room. But I'm seeing that for you, pal number one, you're kind of to yourself. Your arms are crossed and you're slouching in a chair, and you give off the energy that you don't want to be there in the room, even if the room itself is supposed to add value to your life in some way. You're not open to this new experience. However, you are intrigued by the people in the room and you are listening to what others have to say, broadening your views and looking at certain things with a new perspective. It's like you don't want to be in the room, but can't help but be drawn in by the amazing energy everyone else brings to the room. And you slowly start to feel yourself kind of loosen up and feel more open to ask questions and connect with others. This fall season will bring in connection for you in ways you didn't think you needed before. I'm hearing, I didn't know I was missing this form of connection in my life until I met them. So, this could be one person that will play a significant role in this season of your life, or a group of people that will come in and allow you to explore new ways of living. I'm seeing that this bubble that you have been living in has been popped for your betterment. There's this layer of empathy that you will learn unexpectedly through the connections you make with others. Your walls will be coming down that will allow you to feed the humanly side of you that craves connection, that craves intimacy and bonding on a deeper level, being accepted in spaces where you won't feel as though you are being judged for your inner demons. All of you, every aspect of you wants to be accepted, the good, the bad, and the ugly, while simultaneously working on healing through what has been causing you trouble for some time now. You want to feel accepted by your past, present, and new future that you're trying to create for yourself. You want to be accepted in this current new phase that you are walking into, and only ask for acceptance and patience from others. You are walking away from the version of your past that has been destructive to you and others around you. In the Three of Wands reversed, I'm seeing you having little items that you were able to carry with you once you walked away from your past. And now you're like, well, what can I do with the little that I got? How can I turn these three wands into a boat to carry me across the water like everyone else is doing? Because in the Three of Wands card, the person in the card is looking at the horizon, looking at what's in front of them, which are the boats in the water and the land that is on the opposite side of the land that they are standing on. There is a lot of planning that needs to be thought through first before jumping right into the water. There's patience that you need to give yourself during this fall season. There's also this idea to keep in mind that you don't need to rush yourself. If you feel that you have a lot to juggle, then I'm seeing you stopping to take a breather so as to not overwhelm yourself and overcomplicate things that don't need to be complicated to begin with. I'm seeing you be flexible and learning how to adapt new methods into your life to help deal with certain issues. I'm also seeing you receive support from others around you. The question is, are you open to accepting this support? I'm seeing that the help that is offered to you will be coming from someone who is seasoned in what you are currently experiencing and knows how to get past the troubles you're currently faced with. They see the tools you were given and can either show you how to properly use them for your current situation, or they have the supplies you need to expand what's in your toolbox to help you go from I have nothing but problems that I don't know how to fix to I have nothing but solutions to my problems. This is not a season where you should feel hopeless. The connections that you make with others should actually teach you the opposite, that you can overcome anything with the tools they offer you. So don't be afraid or ashamed to accept the help that is offered to you. Use the resources that are readily available to you that were created to help you. There may be a step that you overlooked that you forgot to take into consideration, but luckily, someone came in and saw that you were struggling or missing something and decided to offer the resources they could provide to help you cross that finish line or complete or master what it is that you set out to achieve. Bringing back the visual with the boat, I'm seeing you build this boat with what you already have, but you forgot that you needed a paddle to help steer yourself once you get out on the water. Luckily, someone noticed that you were going through what you were going through and decided to lend a spare paddle. Now, why this person has a spare paddle, don't ask me, but see it as a blessing in disguise from the universe, because that person was overprepared for themselves and had a generous heart to share what they had to help a fellow traveler. And now, thanks to their help, you can venture out into the water with everyone else and travel along with them and be on the same level as them. Now, I'm still picking up on being in a group, but instead of everyone sitting in a circle in a room or sitting in a room with desks and chairs that form rows and columns like a classroom, I'm seeing the room or the environment being outdoors. Like everyone is going camping and being in a safe environment, and everyone is gathered around the campfire and sharing their stories. You're in an environment that you are not accustomed to, but the people that surround you make you feel at home. You may not be well equipped in the beginning to take on this next journey in the fall season, but don't let that stop you from going out and connecting with those who can educate you and teach you the ropes on how to do certain things so you can better take care of yourself on your own without having to constantly rely on others all the time. Allow yourself to be the child and be open to learning and being fascinated with learning new things so you can eventually become independent and know how to be that over prepared and generous person for others in need, just like the person or people in your new environment were to you when you were in need. Again, in the beginning, you might go into this new environment not with open arms and a little bit of a closed mind, but you understand the importance in you agreeing to staying in this room or environment. You are going to be required to pay attention to the information that is being given to you, trusting your gut that you will be making the right decision for you, regardless if you know in your mind you don't want to do this. It's like starting a new health journey where you are trying to eat more healthy, but the healthy foods you need to eat to nourish your body are not the foods you want to eat. You and your mind and your taste buds are reluctant to eating anything that would be considered healthy. You're afraid of the food being bland, and you're not going to feel full after a meal like you normally would feel. But you have a purpose. You have your reasons as to why you are doing what you're doing. You know that this is the next step to taking care of your health. So, to make this journey a little bit easier, you start to Google or find on YouTube or TikTok healthy meals that are packed with more flavor so you don't feel too discouraged to keep going. Again, finding assistance from other people to help you make this journey a bit more enjoyable, because it feels as though you have no clue what the F you're doing. You have no clue how to properly start this journey. You just know that you need to start it. And you know you're kind of going in it with no clear plan, because different plans work for other people. So, sticking to this health journey scenario, you're unsure of which diet you want to try. Do you want to try veganism? Do you want to try vegetarianism? Do you want to try being a pescatarian? Do you want to try the keto or Mediterranean diet? Are you trying to detox? What is your goal? Because you already understand why you want to pursue what you want to pursue. The question is, how do you want to go about pursuing it? Because you have many options to take and consider. You need to weigh out your options to figure out what would work best for you. Doing your research should help, along with getting to know people who are on the same journey as you, who have insight to give to help you find the answers you seek. For some of you, you may need to go through trial and error until you find which option is the right fit for you, because what may work for others, you may find does not work for you, and that's okay. People can have the same goal, but find the method that works for them, or finding the method that works for them is what will help them to reach their goal. Everyone in the group may want to be healthy, but the diets they may try may vary from person to person. The student who wants to pass the test may go about studying differently. One person may need a tutor, another may prefer to study in groups to help them hold themselves accountable, and another may prefer to study alone using note cards or using the Cornell notes style of taking notes. Or maybe they like to study in intervals and study for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break, or work for 50 minutes and take a 10-minute break. Find what works for you and appeals to you that you think would help you to obtain your goal. I'm hearing different strokes for different folks, so don't be afraid to venture out to find what can help you for your situation that appeals to you. I'm actually picking up on the SMART goal method for you to kind of map out how you would like to achieve your goal. For those of you who don't know what the SMART goal method is, the word SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, relevant or realistic, and time bound. And each word serves a purpose in creating and achieving a goal. For specific, this is where you would clearly state what it is you want to achieve. For measurable, this is where a little bit of planning kicks in, and you have to ask yourself, how can I track the progress that I'm making to ensure that I am still working towards my goal? This aspect of this goal-making method will definitely hold you accountable for staying on track and focused. For achievable or attainable, this is where you have to be realistic with yourself and what you're working with, and ask yourself, is this goal a realistic goal that I can achieve with what I am currently working with? For relevant, this is where you check in and say, does my goal make sense and align with my purpose? Is this specific goal important and a stepping stone to achieving my ultimate goal? And finally, for time or time bound, this is where you would set a start and end date to achieve your goal. With this entire goal setting method, you do have to make sure that everything aligns. For example, is your time bound achievable? Is it realistic for you to achieve this goal within the specific range of time? Do you need to get even more specific with your goal and break it down into smaller chunks and create short-term goals that will help you reach your ultimate long-term goals? How will this short-term goal be measured differently from the long-term goal? And is the timing to achieve your short-term goal different from the timing to achieve your long-term goal? I don't know why it was important for me to explain this goal setting method to you, but I will probably link something in the description below for you to better understand how this method works if you are interested. But anyways, I am seeing someone giving you advice on your current situation for you to consider taking, and this advice is very well thought out and planned. It feels like solid advice for beginners of something, and the advice is standard practice and is a very common advice to give to certain groups of people. If you're not understanding something that's within the advice that was given to you, please do not hesitate to ask questions and do your own personal, thorough research. Do not be afraid to be that person who asks a bunch of questions, because your question may help someone else who wasn't as bold as you to ask the question, or you might shed light on a different perspective in you asking your question that others may have never considered. Again, I'm still picking up on the energy of you being in a room with different people and you're all there to gain something new in this room. It's almost like a classroom, how the students can learn from the teacher who has all of the knowledge and resources to help you understand what you need to learn, and your classmates or your peers are there for you to also connect with, to support each other in learning and understanding the material given to you. And you all share your thoughts and opinions on the material to further help each other succeed and pass the class. You all work as a team to ensure that everyone that enters the room will leave the room feeling like you have a shot at success. Even when you have your moments of feeling frustrated because you feel like you're hitting a wall with something, there will always be someone there to help guide you through your frustration. And hopefully you can do the same for someone else that's experiencing a little bit more of a difficult time in this same room or space as you. I'm getting that when one falls, the others help to uplift that person. And in a way, this is a nice balancing act that you all do together to help each other reach the same goal. You help uplift each other. And the perfect way to describe this visual that I'm seeing is like the video game Chained Together. And it's a team working game where communication is very important to succeeding in this game. The characters in the game are chained together and have to get through obstacles and climb up and up and up to further progress in the game. And if one person falls or makes a mistake, then in some cases it's very easy for the other people on the team to pull that person back or help them up so that they can all be on the same page. And once everyone is on the same page, then everyone continues on with progressing in the game. These people that you meet in your life during the fall season won't let you fall. They will not and cannot stand to see you fall. And hopefully with time, once you get to know everyone in the room, you can do the same for them and uplift them when they feel like they have fallen on hard times again. Progress will be made for everyone involved. With time, you will see the shifts and changes you'll be going through and the progress that you'll be making, as well as seeing the progress that others will be making for themselves, and see how you all feed off of each other in a healthy and positive way and inspire and motivate each other to do better. There's a sense of community that has been created in this space that's beautiful and very supportive and understanding and loving. It feels like everyone there has a shoulder to cry on, and no one is being or feeling left out in a way. Like I said before, some of you may enter into this room with the clear energy that you don't want to physically be there, but the people in the room who have already established a relationship with one another will overwhelm you with their welcoming energy that you have no choice but to surrender to. It's kind of hard to fight against this supportive, loving, welcoming, and empowering energy with negativity or pessimism and doubt within yourself and the purpose of what the room itself has to offer you. It's like you're being met with the power of friendship, which is really corny to say, but That's what I'm picking up on. I'm hearing love and light, and I think that is a great way to summarize and describe this room or space that you will be entering into in your fall season. Moving on to close out your reading, I did pull from the Work Your Light Oracle cards deck to give you a message to carry with you throughout your fall season. And the card that came out for you was the Keepers of the Earth card that says, "You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you." Reading from the guidebook for your card, it does say, "You are so supported. You do not stand alone. You have a magnificent team of helpers, both in this world and of the earth, who are here to help you every step of the way. Call upon them for assistance. They are here to help." The keepers of the earth acknowledge the work that you have done already and are ready to work through you. They bow at your feet and thank you for wanting to stand for them, to devote your life to protecting the earth in your unique way. It is time to increase your capacity to receive support in the physical realm. This can come in the form of financial abundance, acts of service from strangers, or people flocking to help you and your work. The only thing that is stopping you right now is your capacity to receive support. You deserve to be rewarded for the work that you are doing. You do not need to go at it alone. Call upon the keepers of the earth to help you and your mission. Open your heart and your mind to receive more than you ever thought possible. What kind of support do you need? Call it in right away. For your Work Your Light activation, it says hold the card on your heart and say, "I am open to receiving a whole new level of support for my life and my work, and I call it in now." Include any other specific requests here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As your tarot reader, I do love it when the oracle cards pretty much confirm what I am picking up on in the tarot cards. This season of your life is not meant to be a lonely one, and I know a lot of times when people hear that they are not going to be alone from a tarot reader, they can sometimes assume that they mean it in a romantic sense, but completely disregard they completely disregard all the ways in which other forms of human connections can have their own significant impact on a person's life. So please keep that in mind moving forward as you continue to head into your fall season. Pile number 1, remember to cherish and see the value in all the connections you make with strangers or family members or coworkers or friends. Those kinds of connections have a purpose too. But there you have it. You have reached the end of your reading. I hope that the messages within this pile resonated for you. If you would like to, don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe to follow when I next upload. And until then, I hope that you have a blessed and wonderfully divinely guided day. See ya! Hello, my pile number 2s, and welcome to your fall season reading. For your tarot cards, you do have the Nine of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Strength card, all reversed. In the Nine of Cups specifically, I'm seeing that you failed something. Like, you failed to complete something or meet the deadline for something, and now it's too late. In the High Priestess card reversed, I'm hearing, "I knew better. I should have listened and paid attention more, and now I have lost something of value to me." I'm specifically seeing a guy being heartbroken, maybe because he didn't value his partner enough or pay attention to his partner enough to the point that his partner felt neglected in the relationship and finally decided to end things with the guy. I'm also getting a different situation where someone didn't meet the deadline for something, either in their career or in their academics, and now this missed deadline has the potential to change the trajectory of their future in a massive way. This could mean not graduating on time or potentially getting fired because this person put the company in a risky situation. And in all 3 situations or scenarios, with the guy in the breakup scenario, the company loss scenario, and the not graduating on time scenario for the college student, there's nothing that the person could do to change things to put them back on the path that they wanted to be on originally. There are no second chances. They're not going to get the person that broke up with them back. They're not getting their job back. They can't get an extension on an assignment for a class they're failing. All they can do now is move on and see what the next step is after the mishap has already happened. Find a new job, repeating a class, living with the fact that there were issues within the relationship and choosing to ignore them or not prioritize them. And in each situation, I'm noticing that each person in each scenario had the choice in the beginning to do the right thing to ensure that this loss never happened. But due to procrastination or not prioritizing certain things that should have been in the top 3 priority list, or putting certain things on the back burner, and essentially overall not listening to their intuition, each person has to face the consequences of their own action. With me describing all of these scenarios for you, pile number 2, I say all this to say that your fall season will be filled with going back and facing yourself and acknowledging in all the ways in which you could be potentially getting in your own way. For some of you, I'm hearing that you haven't been trusting your intuition as of late, and it's creating low self-esteem within you. Your self-esteem has taken a hit because of the lack of trust you have within yourself, which is preventing you from placing yourself where you need to be in your life. Like I said before, phrases like "I knew better" or "I knew I should have done this or that" may be what you are saying to yourself often. For some of you, you aren't moving from a healed place where you trust your intuition to help you make certain decisions. For example, if your friend invited you to go out to eat, you would say yes out of the fear of missing out and hanging out with your friend, not because your body is saying, "Yes, we can go. I don't see the harm in us going." If you were weighing out the options for 2 completely different opportunities and you could only take one of these opportunities, you probably wouldn't make a decision at all, and before you know it, your time is up and you still didn't make a choice. But you could have had one of those opportunities, you just didn't listen to that little voice that was making the clear choice for you. There's this sense of having a hard time going within and paying attention to what needs your attention, feeling within your system and what choices feels right for you. What decision is the best decision for you? You may have been having a hard time listening to that little voice in your head that's trying to protect you, not out of fear or anxiety, but because it intuitively knows what's best for you. And sometimes that little voice can say no to something when you want the answer to be yes. And then you go out and you ignore that little voice and choose to do what you want to do, even if it's not the best decision for you. Going back to that college student scenario, instead of staying in the dorm and working on that important essay for finals, they chose to go out and party with friends and continue to procrastinate on this paper when every day that little voice kept telling them to sit down and work on chunks of the essay little by little so as to not get overwhelmed by the workload later and be able to turn in that paper on time to graduate. There is a lack of strength when it comes to self-discipline and getting things done for some. And for others, this lack of strength is pertaining to not looking at what's important and needs your attention, like an issue in a relationship, and what part you play in the issue that's occurring or reoccurring. I do know that there will be another Mercury retrograde that will start for sometime in the end of November, and it will end somewhere in the middle of December. So this still falls in line with the fall season that starts in September 22nd and the final day of fall, which will be on December 20th, 2024. In the strength card reversed, I'm also seeing you having a hard time looking at your reflection in the mirror. So some of you may be dealing with physical insecurities and a lack of self-confidence, or you can't look at yourself in the mirror because of shame for whatever reason, having a hard time with being honest and vulnerable with yourself, even in solitude, partially because you don't want to face the disappointment and acknowledge that in some way you may have let yourself down, having a hard time seeing yourself and acknowledging the good, the bad, and the ugly, which is funny that I say that because I did say that phrase in pile number 1, but they were in a time in their life where they were past this point in their lives and were moving forward instead of looking back. You, on the other hand, are not at that point yet, but you could be if and only if you are willing to go through that process of looking at yourself and being truthful and honest about your good, your bad, and your ugly side that have helped and hindered you to get you to where you are now at this point in time. However, for a lot of you, I am sensing that your self-esteem is low and you don't believe that you can do this. This feels like a process that will be too difficult for you only because you're scared to go through it and unpack certain things. There's this energy of being too distracted with and focused on the fantasy that you forget to put in the work to maintain this dream that you were living in. In you facing yourself, the fantasy gets shattered and now you're faced with the reality of things. Going back to the scenarios, the college student was so focused on the fact that they were so close to graduating that they forgot that they were not at the end just yet. They still had to get through their last classes and give it their all in their final semester and pass their finals before they could actually graduate and go out to celebrate their accomplishment. The guy in the breakup scenario created the perfect image of his life. He had the career, he had the relationship, he had his family and friends, and he forgot that in order to keep all of these things, there were some things that needed to be done to maintain and keep the relationship to prevent it from ending. With the Nine of Cups reversed, I'm hearing you were once at the top and now you've crashed. So for some of you, the energy that I'm picking up on feels like when you're watching a movie or a TV show where the main character puts on a facade to impress other people on the outside on a superficial level, but when they come home, they start to destroy their home and start breaking mirrors and plates and bawling their eyes out when they are faced with their reality when they are alone. So they try to avoid being alone as much as possible to not feel what they truly feel on the inside. Or they try to escape their reality by using what they're addicted to. And for some, I'm hearing eating disorders. However, I am seeing a redemption arc for you. I'm picking up on the Beast from the movie Beauty and the Beast and how you get to see his character development in a beautiful way. And that's what I'm getting for you, pile number 2, an amazing character development story, a story where you get to learn how to be authentically you and embrace who you are and who you're willing to become. For right now, it feels like you're at a climactic point in your plot where you crash and realize that something needs to change. You need to change in some way. I'm picking up on the song by One Republic. It's called I Lived, and I will link that song in the description box below for your pile. But the song is about living life and experiencing hardship, but also acknowledging that the hardship shouldn't outweigh the memories and joys of life. So while you may be going through some difficult times, recognize that you are a human who's gonna make mistakes from time to time that you're gonna have to learn from over and over and over again until you get it right. Until you're able to understand what the cause of the mistake was and understand how to prevent it from happening again. You will be learning how to take credit for the actions you take. Sometimes part of living involves facing, again, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This fall season won't be all bad, but I do think that this season will be emotionally heavy for you. This will be one of those seasons where, yes, you will have good moments and good memories you will keep with you, but looking back on this season as a whole, you would probably say, yeah, that was the most difficult time, a tough time in my life to get through, but I made it out, thankfully. And now I'm picking up on Kelly Clarkson's What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger song, and I will also link that song in the description box below as well. You know, this season isn't meant for you to be like, woe is me, it's the end of the world for me, because I'm hearing that it's not. Have the courage to become self-aware of yourself. I'm hearing the universe say, if you're going to be distracted and not do what you're supposed to be doing, the least you could do is be distracted with yourself and do the internal work instead of wasting your time distracting yourself with things that don't have any real true value to add to your life, which I know is a little hard to hear. But I am seeing an empire kind of crumble, and I'm getting the visual of the Tower card up right in my mind. So maybe what you have built up all of this time is now crumbling down for you to start on a new solid foundation, because the one you were building on was unstable and you weren't going to be able to maintain it with what you were working with internally. Habits that were taking control over you that shouldn't have had that amount of control over you, that have led to the downfall of what you spent all of this time trying to build and create. Habits and thought processes that were going to lead to your own demise, and you have to hold yourself accountable for this to learn what needs to be done to prevent this from further happening again in the future. I'm hearing all that hard work going down the drain, and I'm seeing someone crying over the toilet and seeing all of their progress being flushed away, and this triggers the person to self-reflect on what went wrong. They're sitting on the bathroom floor crying and processing all that happened, and then finally getting off the bathroom floor and being met with their reflection in the mirror and feeling ashamed to look at themselves in the eye, because deep down they just realized that they're the reason things aren't going right in their life. So I guess that was supposed to be the full imagery of the person, or you being face to face with your reflection and not having the strength to look at yourself. In the visual with this person in the visual, this person realized that they wouldn't receive or keep what they wanted in the timing that they wanted it, which is heartbreaking to feel and realize in this situation. But in some twisted way, I'm seeing that this is a good thing that happened. It felt like a detour that needed to happen. You know how in certain movies, the protagonist or one of the main characters in a movie is living the life of luxury in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they lose it all for whatever reason, and you as the viewer of the movie feel bad for the protagonist because of the 180 turn reality shift that they are going through. But ultimately, in the end, they find their footing in the detour and realize that the detour has given them what they didn't know they were missing in their life in the beginning. I'm seeing that for you. I'm thinking of Prince Naveen from the movie Princess and the Frog, and also the movie Prada Nada. So in your life, in your movie, there is strength and courage that needs to be had within you to go through this shift that you may need to go through. Because this shift was not in alignment with your plan, you may feel as though you are unequipped to experience what lies within this shift, but you have to realize that you are prepared. For right now, you are in the in-between of a transition. Right now, you're in the middle of looking at the past version of you and looking at the new version of you. You are both, but also neither of these people at the same time, because you haven't fully let go of the past version of you, but you aren't fully ready to be the new version of you just yet. This is a period in time where you should take your time with being in the in-between. This isn't something that should be rushed. Let certain things unfold for you in the way that the universe intended for it to unfold. I'm picking up on the phrase rejection is protection, which I know some people have their own opinions about that phrase, but that is what I am picking up on. If rejection isn't protecting you from something, then rejection could also be projecting you to a new and better way of living that you never considered before, for the kind of person that you will be becoming, that is in alignment with who you were actually meant to be in this life. I'm getting the visual that you are being put back into the womb to further develop other aspects of you. And right now, it's not the time for you to be born again. You'll know when the timing is right for you to come out and go through the natural birthing process, with when the universe tells you it's time to come out. You and no one else outside of you should force you to come out when you are not ready. If you were to come out right now, you would be premature. There is still some developments that are incomplete. There are some aspects of you that are still immature and needs time to further develop and grow up. Take your time to shed the old version of you And when it's time for you to come out, trust that you will be ready to strut down the new path that the universe has constructed for you all this time while you were in the womb, which I think is great, because a lot of the times we try to follow what society tells us is the right timing instead of us listening to our own inner guidance to learn what is the right timing for ourselves. And in you learning how to listen to that little voice that never steers you wrong, you learn how to take your power back over your life. To close out your reading, I pulled from the Work Your Light Oracle cards deck to give you a message to carry with you throughout your fall season. And the card that came out for you was the No card that says, wait, postpone, pause, say no. Reading from the guidebook for your card, it says, you are being called to either pause or say no. Saying yes to something that isn't in alignment with you will drain your energy and your time. Hold out for a congruent, aligned 100% yes. Often, when we are looking for guidance to make a decision, it can be frustrating not to move into clear and considered action. However, timing is everything, and not receiving clear guidance is actually guidance in itself. We all go through times known as waiting periods. These times are crucial for our body to regenerate, the new path to formulate, and the universe to begin creating things on our behalf. You don't need to be plowing forward all the time to move forward. A potent, congruent yes, when the time is right, will put you ahead leaps and bounds. Don't force things now, just because it seems like the only option. Take a breather and wait. The waiting is actually very productive, for when the time for movement comes, you will be ready to dive right in. Use this time to regenerate and ponder what you truly want. Consider the options. If the options are not clear, don't fear, because this time is a gift. Use it to tend to your garden and take a rest, to take a moment from your busy life to clear the decks and prepare for the time in the future. For come spring, clarity will bloom and you will have the reserves, space, and drive to say yes and act and move quickly. For your Work Your Light, it says say no, postpone, or wait. So, this card coming out for you for your message to carry with you throughout your fall season is so funny to me, because I was actually thinking of this card before I started channeling for your reading, so to see it come out is very shocking to me. I did mention earlier that pile number 1 is in a phase that comes after the phase that you are currently in, and before you move forward to take action, you need to pull back a bit and reflect. And sometimes moving backwards may feel annoying to do, may feel like an annoying process to go through over and over and over again, but it does serve its purpose. Sometimes going back and pulling back can feel like you giving yourself a breather, like the card mentioned, because taking action will exert a lot of energy from you, and that's not what you need to do right now, is to deplete your energy. It's not exactly a time to rest, but most definitely a time to slow down and move at an extremely slow pace instead of charging full speed ahead. And I guess that's it for you, pile number 2. You've reached the end of your reading. I hope that the messages within this pile resonated for you. If you would like to, don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe to follow when I next upload. And until then, I hope that you have a blessed and wonderfully divinely guided day. See you later. Hello, my pile number 3s, and welcome to your fall season reading. For your tarot cards, you do have the Knight of Wands upright, the Queen of Wands upright, and the Star card reversed. I'm not getting that you are getting something exactly in the way you wish for it to come into your life, but it's something better than you could have ever imagined. This is something that could fulfill you in a creative way that is launching. I'm sensing that there is not much faith in whatever this something is that you desire. A perfect example of what I'm picking up on is like if you were to have this big idea to start a new business in something that was once a hobby, and initially you think this is a great idea to jump in and get started on, and you're very energetic and optimistic about this idea. You have so much faith that this business move is the perfect move for you to make to help elevate your life, you see all the ways in which this business idea can add value to your life and how it can add value to your customers' lives. But in the beginning, you're not getting any sales. You are not getting the attention you feel you deserve for your business, for maybe the products you sell. And this could feel a little discouraging for you, but you have your faith that at any given moment, things will start to gradually work out for you. But time passes and you are still waiting for things to take off. Days start turning into weeks, and weeks start turning into months, and you slowly start to lose your faith in your business, and time goes on. What's interesting is that I'm not seeing you not throw in the towel and give up, though. Even with the little faith that you have, it's like you know in your spirit you are being called to not shut everything down and close up shop. At this point, you don't know what you're quite exactly fighting for. All you know is to keep going. From an outside perspective, other people would probably observe the situation that you're in and they would have given up or are trying to talk you into giving up. But for some reason, you can't stop. No matter if all odds against or no matter if all odds are against you and nudging you to throw this dream of yours away, you find a way to barely make it through, to keep this dream alive in some way, even if you're not getting what you would like to receive in return with this dream. This idea that you created was definitely created out of impulse. There were some things that you didn't quite factor in and thought through thoroughly, but again, you always find a way to get past certain hurdles. You have or had the right spirit in the beginning. However, logistically, in terms of how things operate in the real world, you weren't ready. You weren't prepared. Something about this idea wasn't quite fully grounded. It feels more like the idea was levitating off the ground by a few inches. It wasn't necessarily flying in the sky, but it was most definitely off the ground. You are slowly but surely getting better at pulling the reins and attempting to stabilize this dream of yours into reality. And in you doing this, with time, you would have shown the universe that you are ready and prepared to receive what you've always wanted to receive from this dream. And the universe will bless you with the best of the best. This fall season will definitely bring you something you weren't anticipating. And I mean that in the most positive way. So I won't say to be on the lookout for this blessing, but I will say to focus on what you need to focus on and let the universe surprise you. Even if you are someone who doesn't like surprises, just trust that the universe will surprise you with something good. You won't be gifted with something that you didn't ask for from the universe. So be mindful of what you wish for. Now, there's a second group of people who chose this pile, and what I'm getting for you is that you are just simply bored. You're bored with life. You're bored with the direction you're going in your life, and you want something spontaneous to happen. So, what do? You go out and you look for it. This long phase of boredom that you were experiencing may have been what you needed to make the decision that will eventually change your life. And finally, there's a third group of people who chose this pile. And what I'm getting for you is that you may have experienced the boredom that the second group was feeling, which inspired you to create something that the first group was creating. There will be a lot of enjoyable moments during the fall season for you. Fun memories will definitely be created. I'm picking up that you will be enjoying the weather a lot more. For a lot of you, the fall season could be, if not your number one favorite, then one of your favorite seasons to experience every year. I'm really seeing a lot of fun outdoor activities for you to enjoy. And when I say outdoor activities, I just mean anything that you can enjoy outside of your house specifically. You could be in a public setting that is indoors, or at another person's house for a holiday celebration, or in a literal sense, be outdoors. You will be creating your fun during this season. This could also mean having fun experimenting with your wardrobe now that the weather has changed, embracing the fall colors that are more warm toned, like the reds and the oranges and the yellows and the specific shades of greens, really embracing everything that comes with the fall season, like the colors, the weather, and the events that are created all around to celebrate anything that's within this season. I'm seeing you being invited to places on a whim and saying yes to go, excited and agreeing to any excuse to actually leave the house. I'm seeing someone inviting you to hang out with them randomly and you being eager to say yes and go without giving it any thought. I'm seeing you being booked and busy, and you are keeping track of everything that you want to participate in. It's very much giving adrenaline junkie energy, but in a good way. I'm getting um I'm getting that you are getting out there and socializing and making human connections and fueling your spirit and ultimately enjoying life. You're getting high on life, which is a beautiful thing to experience. Just be safe and do certain things in moderation. Have a healthy balance with everything you will be doing. Be in the moment and have fun. I'm seeing that, if a rainy day does come along and cancels any plans you had for that day, you can always reschedule. It's not the end of the world. I am seeing you trying to make fun moments for yourself indoors, even if your plans have been canceled. I'm getting a visual of a woman trying to make dinner plans with her other female friends, but they have to cancel for whatever reason. And then the woman decides to call everyone up and say, hey, since we can't do this today, do you guys want to have a sleepover in my house instead? And all of the girls say yes, and everyone shows up in their pajamas and they're drinking and ordering food and playing games and doing their skincare together. And it's a very beautiful bonding moment that was created on a whim, and no one who attended this slumber party will ever forget it. I'm getting that this fall season will definitely favor my extroverts out there. For my introverts, it will also favor you if you are one of those people who gets excited for canceled plans, so you can replenish your energy because of all of the excitement that's happening for you this season. Again, moderation is key for you to have a healthy fall season experience, regardless if you are an extrovert or an introvert. Be mindful of what you agree to during the season so as to not overload your schedule or mistakenly overlap certain events or agreements you've made. Make time to have your space and sit in solitude from time to time to also enjoy your me time. For you adrenaline junkies out there, you might not have wanted to hear that. That may have sounded a little bit boring to you, but trust when you do have the time to just sit and relax, you'll be like, oh wow, I didn't even realize that I needed that. I didn't realize that I was on such a high that I was moving on autopilot and not letting my mind and body actually rest. You'll be able to sit back, relax, and maybe catch up on some sleep. And when you wake up, you'll start your day off fresh with a clear mind and a healthy, energized body. Your energy needs to be leveled out from time to time, so be mindful of that. Leveling yourself out can help you to make better decisions. Again, not to overwork yourself and make the mistakes of double booking something. Making sure that plans aren't overlapping and you aren't being forgetful about what you actually agreed to. Being realistic about what you can and can't do because of timing. Don't overestimate your ability to do something. If something is a tight squeeze in your schedule where one thing starts at noon and ends at 2 p.m. and then another thing starts at 2:30 or 3 p.m. on the same day, really sit back and think logically, am I actually going to be able to make this? Is there a wardrobe change that needs to happen in between 2 p.m. and 3 for me to make it on time? Do I need to take another shower, or do I need to eat before I arrive to the next event? Will I still be able to make it on time if I do these things? Or will the first event take a lot out of me that I won't have the energy for the next event? Really sit down and think clearly about what you can and can't agree to. if you need to buy a planner for the fall season for September 22nd to December 20th, then you need to do that. Or get acquainted with writing things down on a calendar, whether it's a physical calendar that you can write on or type on if it's on your phone or computer or your tablet. You will still have fun this season. Your fun won't be taken away from you, but think realistically about what you have the time and energy for. What event has a higher priority over the other for you? What are you willing to miss out on just so you can be a part of something else that won't make you feel like you're losing out on something else? For a lot of you, I am picking up that you are hosting something, so the message still applies. Be sure to properly plan things out so that way the event can go in a way that you envisioned for it to go. I'm seeing a party being planned, almost like Thanksgiving, which will happen in the fall season, duh, but I'm seeing food being set up, and I can't tell if this is happening in the morning, afternoon, or evening, but the food is being laid out on display and decorations are up. There's a lot of seating areas for the people who are attending, but I'm not seeing forks, spoons, and knives people need to eat their food. I'm seeing the plates, but I'm not seeing the eating utensils. So make sure you plan everything out from the larger, more obvious details to the littlest, tiniest details. I know that doesn't sound fun for those of you who are enjoying being mentally in La La Land, but having organization is needed for things like this. It will make a huge difference in how much people will be enjoying the event you're hosting if you are someone who is planning to host something during the fall season. Things can tend to go a lot more smoothly when you can tell that certain things were thought through. Taking the risk and just randomly throwing things together at the last minute may form a lot of chaos when the event is happening. I'm also hearing to accept help wherever you can as well. Be organized, and I'm really picking up that writing things down somewhere where you won't forget it will definitely help you so that you don't forget to include something. It'll help to free up the space in your mind so you're less scatterbrained and overwhelmed. Really take charge and take this role seriously so you can set up an event that can allow fond memories to flourish so no one will forget the amazing bonding experience you allowed to form through the thoughtful event planning. I'm seeing a family gathering where all generations in the family are playing games and having wonderful conversations and enjoying the meal that was made and shared with everyone. And I'm seeing specifically the grandfather in the family in the living room, sitting in a rocking chair or in a really nice living room swivel chair, and has a toddler granddaughter sitting on his lap, and he's reading a book to her, and they're talking and laughing, and he's sharing funny stories. And I'm also getting stories that have morals to them with her. I don't know why that visual came up specifically, but it felt very important to share. For those of you who will be hosting or helping to host a gathering, maybe in me describing the visual that I was seeing will motivate you to take planning this event a little more seriously, kind of get the motion or momentum started and going in planning and organizing this event, creating something that not only everyone else can enjoy but you as well. Create those memories for not only everyone else but for yourself as well, creating those moments for yourself as well, absorbing every meaningful minute of these moments so they can be memories to share in the future. Who knows, maybe a surprise may come to you during the moments you share with another person at the event. Moving on from that, I am picking up that some of you, if you are open to it, will be encountering someone who is a romantic interest. Either you will be the extremely flirty person, or this person will be extremely flirty with you. It'll catch you off guard in the beginning, and I'm hearing that you'll be swept off your feet, and you'll be like, oh, I wasn't expecting this person to be into me. Okay, I think I can go along with it. I'm unsure if all of you who will be experiencing this should take it seriously. For some of you, I am hearing you should take it seriously, meaning you should open yourself up to this experience where you'll get to interact with this person. And for all of you who will be facing this, or who will be faced with this romantic interest, you should take your time with it. Be in the moment and have fun with getting to know this person. I'm seeing two people talking outside, and they're both bundled up because it's chilly outside, and they have a warm cup of coffee or hot cocoa in their hands and are having a pleasant conversation with each other. There's a lot of laughing and giggling and flirting that's going on, and it's a nice casual interaction between two people who find each other attractive. So, don't think too hard about this. Let the universe surprise you. Ooh, I did say that earlier, didn't I, in your reading? Well, I guess for some of you, this will be the surprise, so spoiler alert, I'm sorry. So don't try and force things to happen. You might surprise yourself and approach someone, so get in tune with yourself and feel if it feels right to safely approach someone and interact with them. Get the universe's approval to interact with someone, so you know if you are acting in alignment with where the universe wants you to go and who they want you to meet. And if you're the person that's being approached, use your discernment to determine if you should entertain this person. Don't be desperate, just simply allow things to flow in the way that they were meant to. No pressure, accept things as they come and go, accept things as they are, and you will be fine. If you are someone who is attracted to men, then I am specifically picking up that it will be a man that will be approaching you, and that you manifested this man, either knowingly or unknowingly. So be careful of what you wish for, consciously or subconsciously, because I'm hearing the word mangled, and I'm getting that this could be someone you once cut ties with in the past. For whatever reason, things didn't work out in the past, and I'm hearing the word damaged. So something may have been damaged in the relationship, whether this is a physical or tangible thing, or something like trust was damaged, and that was the reason you cut ties with this person, but now they're coming back. I would like to mention that Mercury retrograde will be happening near the end of November and through the first half of December, which still falls in line with the fall season. So keep this in mind in case any exes come back for whatever reason in your life. I am hearing again, be level-headed and make decisions when you are in your right mind. For those of you who will be having a past person come back into your life, I'm hearing that they will be worming their way back into your life and will be preying on that side of you that is looking for fun and spontaneity, and they want to be that fun and spontaneous thing that comes into your life when you are searching for that high. So if you don't want that to happen, then I would suggest grounding yourself and, again, making decisions when you are in your right mind, because I am seeing you being kind of hasty with certain things, and the universe is calling for you to slow down a bit and hold your horses, pun not intended, because I am picking up this energy from the Knight of Wands card. But moving on, to wrap up your reading, I did pull from the Work Your Light Oracle card stack to give you a message to carry with you throughout your fall season. And the card that came out for you was the Get Grounded card that says, Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Reading from the guidebook for your card, it says, you are being called to get grounded, to ensure that your luminous field is clear and your inner well is full. If you're not grounded, it is all too easy to get swept up in other people's energy and mistake it for your own. Your boundaries will become blurred as you are are absorbing the energies around you and struggling to define what is their stuff and what is yours. If you pulled this card, you are very likely an empath or a highly sensitive person and need time alone to fill up your well, balance your energy, and get grounded. There are two types of people: those who draw their energy from others and those who draw their energy from within. Reflect on which one you are and carve out time each day to ensure your well is being replenished. Being sensitive is a superpower, but like all powers, it needs to be nurtured in order to be fulfilled. It is easy to get swept up in the high frequency energies that are swirling around on the planet. The quickest and most effective way of clearing all of this from your field is to ground yourself by connecting with Mother Earth. There are many ways to get grounded. One of the most powerful ones is to practice earthing by connecting to the power of Mother Earth. Spend time in nature, put your hand on a tree, your palms are extensions of your heart chakra, or walk barefoot on the earth. For your Work Your Light action, it says do something to get grounded and connect with the earth. So, for this fall season, maybe look into what works best for you in terms of getting yourself grounded. I know I mentioned earlier that a lot of you will be looking forward to the weather change that happens for the fall. So, maybe in some way, the fall season weather allows you to peacefully connect with the earth. Maybe for some of you, you actually enjoy the cool breeze and the rainy weather. You enjoy the rainy storms, and you enjoy the crunch of the leaves when they fall to the ground. You love jumping in piles of leaves. So allow yourself to sit in that moment and enjoy the funness that the fall season will bring to you every year. But other than that, we have finally reached the end of your reading, pile number 3. I hope the messages within this pile resonated for you. If you would like to, don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe to follow on our next upload. And until then, I hope that you have a blessed and wonderfully divinely guided day. Goodbye.